Hello, hello. Happy Monday. We're live again. Hello, hello, Helena. Hello, Nastasia. So I was away from my office desk and my laptop for a while. Decided I'll create some nails. So today I just drew some beautiful sunflowers with gel polish. These are really cool and really simple. So I'm going to show you how to create them. Hello, Nicola. Hello, guys. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me well and you see everything. So hopefully it's all good. The video will stay as usual on the IGTV. So for those of you who are not watching from the beginning, or maybe we'll catch up later, you can watch my IGTV a bit later on. Perfect. Thank you so much, Helena. So we're going to use the gel polishes to draw our sunflowers, which makes our life much easier and everything is nice and quick. When you're choosing the gel polish for your painting, you need to look for the gel polishes that are super pigmented. It's not about the thickness, it's about the pigmentation. Okay, so if you open, I've got this yellow pineapple from our summer collection, which I'm going to use. You can see it's super pigmented. It's not as thick. You can see the drop is falling, but has lots of pigments in it. Why is that important? It is important because we don't want to create any thickness. Okay, so if we layer in our design and we create the flower with our gel polishes, we don't want to have 20,000 layers of the polish. Hello, Donna. So I'm going to start from the middle part of my sunflower, and I'm going to use the Blackest black gel polish. And let me just do it in the corner, and I'll just create middle like part, so it will be just a circle. Just like that. It doesn't have to be too covered, not too much, because we're going actually, guys, I'll just make it a bit smaller. No? Hello, Justina. I'll just make it a bit smaller. Why so big? Okay, so one more time. You can see with gel polishes is easy. I just messed up on the beginning, and I can quickly wipe off and start over again, so that I have no problems. Okay, so just a bit, and this will be our middle part, and this will be our references. Oh, thank you, Justina. Happy Monday to you too. So we have, Justina, less than 2 weeks to see each other. I'm so excited. Need some weekend break. Hope you had a beautiful time in the last weekend as well in Avimore. I've seen the photos, they were looking amazing, and then sunset was just wow. So hopefully I will catch something as well. Okay, so I've cured my middle part in the curing middle part in a lamp for 30 seconds, and now I'm going to create my petals. So I'm going to use the pineapple, which is super bright yellow. I'll just place a bit on my paper palette. And I'm going to use like two parts of the leaf. So one will be on the back and one will be on the front. So the ones in the front on the back will be a bit darker. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the gel polish ochre yellow. And I'm just going to mix it a bit with my pineapple. Okay, so ochre yellow, I don't know, on the paper you may see is look a bit dark, but it's like a mustard yellow. Love observing your work. Oh, thank you, Justina. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to mix these two together. So then I will have a bit darker yellow. Okey-doke. So all depends of your colors as well. If you want to go with just super bright sunflowers, you're absolutely fine to do that. So you can just use like pineapple all over for two layers. You can also use the ochre yellow in 2 layers, or orange, or something like that. Is really up to you. Okay, so if we think about our sunflowers, they've got the petals like a daisies. Okay, so with a bit spike. These are just a bit bigger. So for the daisies, we'll be creating like really small petals. For the sunflowers, these are just a bit bigger. So I'm going to use my Detailer number 3 brush. So it's just a bit bigger brush. There's really, it makes my life a bit easier and it's faster as well. So I'm just picking up a bit of the product and I will start to create my petals. Okay, so with just a spike, I'm just going to draw one next to another. Oh, I'm just running away from the camera, sorry guys. You don't need to cure it in between. So this one, and then another one. So if you'll be using the really pigmented product, you can really use the small amount. So if you do not use too much, then you have no problems with flying anywhere or running somewhere. So this one will be much easier. So choose your gel polishes wisely. Not all of the colors and not from all of the brands are suitable for painting. Okay. Got a few more. Hello everyone, hello people who's joining us. Hope your Monday is brilliant. So painting this one. Okay, and that's my first part, and I'm going to cure such a lovely color. Thank you, Helena. Yeah, the mixture of these two is just, it's really nice. It's like a sunflower. So it's a bit lighter than this mustard yellow from the ochre yellow, and it's less bright than the pineapple. So it's, I think for the sunflowers is brilliant. Okay, I'm going to cure it 30 seconds in the light. And then I will just prep just the pineapple for my second layer of the petals. Okay, and this time I'm going to paint in between the previous one. Maybe not really in between, as we'll be covering, but there will be just layers visible. So you can see on this one, so our back ones we already drew, and now we're going to draw the front ones. Okay, so 30 seconds done. And I've got just a pineapple, so you can see on the paper palette is much lighter. And I will just do exactly the same, but just in the front. So I'll be creating the same petals, the same size roughly. Don't stress if they all not exactly the same. Nothing in nature is exactly the same. So if you look at the sunflowers, you won't be able to find exactly the same petals everywhere. So they all get just tiny different shape, and some of them may be bended, so they will look a bit thinner. And also there's different types of sunflowers, so not all of them are the same. Like I'm using for this one the middle part, which is black, but you can also use the orange and green. So if you look at the different types of sunflowers, not all of them got these eatable seeds, which are black or brown mixed with black. So it's all about your creativity, your clients, what your clients will wear on the rest of the nails. The consistency of the gel looks amazing. Thank you, Helena. It's really nice. The colors are not too thick, so they're really easy to apply. At the same time, they're really beautifully covering. Okay, so this is my second layer, or maybe just a bit in here. Okay, and I'm going to cure it 30 seconds in the LED light. If you're still using the UV light, remember every coat of the gel polish needs to be cured 2 minutes in the UV light. So if you're still using this, I know some of you still using the UV light, the bulb ones, you need to cure every layer 2 minutes. And now I'm going to use the glass gel polishes for shading. Okay, so I'm going to use the amber and the brown from the glass gel polish collection number 2 from Magnetic, and the glass polishes are semi-transparent. So these are not completely covering, you can see in here. And these are absolutely brilliant for nail art. So I need to say, in salon, I maybe use them once, one color, to cover the client's nails fully. These are not as good for that. Maybe my clients just don't like these jelly nails. But for the nail art, the glass gel polishes are just must have for all the shading, for painting with the gel polish, to create stained glass designs. These are just brilliant, just absolutely amazing. Hello, Beatrice. Hello, Simos. Okay, would be good to use on tortoise shell, definitely for tortoise shell, and especially like this brown and amber, which is a bit of orangey. We also have the yellow, so for this one will be absolutely brilliant for tortoise shell, which you'll be needing this like see-through gel polishes to create this this effect. Okay. So my next step is going to create in the shading, and I will start from the amber. So I will first apply just a small amount of the amber just in between my yellow petals. Okay, just a drop. I've used now the smaller brush. It is a detailer number 1. And in here. Now I'm cleaning my brush. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull this gel over to create the shade, and it's more like a tapping. Okay. And another one. So I'm just creating this 3D effect, so the petals on the back will be still looking as these are on the back. It's like a shade. And we can see we've got really light background with the yellow, so it's super easy to use just one thin layer of the glass gel polishes to create the shading. Okay, I've just used a bit too much product in here, so I'll just pick it up, clean my brush, and go back to this one and the last one in here. Just tap, 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 and I'm spreading the glass gel polish over to create the shade. And I already can see the 2 layers of the petals. They are really visible. So even if you use the just the one color without mixing, just let's say you've got the pineapple and you'll do two rows of the petals, when you do the shading, it will be really visible. Just by adding the shading, that really brings the sunflower to life. Thank you so much, Helena. Yes, this just these bits. We're just adding just a few details, and then that really makes a difference. I think in the work with the painting and the art is all about details. When I started, they've been all missing. I couldn't see these details. And now over the years, and of course taking tons of different courses and practicing a lot, I've started to notice all these tiny details that are really important to create the beautiful designs. Hello, Linda. Hello, Linda. I will just wave to you all while my nail is curing. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create the shade again, but this time with the brown, and will be on the main petal. So I will just get the drop. So I'm still working with the glass gel polish. To be honest, with the normal gel polish, you can do this shading as well, but it's quite difficult. You need to mix it with top. You may have no right consistency, and it's quite difficult to blend. So if you have just the glass polish, it's much easier. And I've cleaned my brush, and I will just do exactly the same. So just spread it slightly over, and I will pull a bit of the glass in the middle to create the small detail. Okay, so it's just a small amount. Okay, and now just one more. You can see how quickly it is done. And now I'm going to cure 30 seconds. So my next step is going to be create the outlines for every petal. So with the gel polish, I was really fast. I wasn't that perfect. And to be honest, the gel polish itself is just spread in the tiny amount. So if you want to make this nice and sharp lines, it's quite hard to use the just the gel polishes. But I'm going to use the liner gel black to create the outlines and details for every petal. Because it is black, I would not recommend you to use too much product. I'm using the finest brush, so if you don't have any glass shades, can you just mix a bit with the top coat? So yeah, you can mix just a normal gel polish with the top gel. You need to work out your own consistency and transparency. So with some gel polishes, you may have 50-50 mix. Some gel polishes, you may just need the 30% of the top. Otherwise, you will lose the pigment completely. Some of them will need a bit more of the top because they are too thick. And the pigment, for example, the red pigment is really saturated in the color. So you need to work out the mixture. And once you work it out, you just need to practice a blending a bit, and then just to apply on the client's nails. So if you decide to do that kind of designs, I would recommend you to try your products first on the site, on the tips, and then go for a client, because you want to have this blending as beautiful as possible. So it's better to practice a bit with your products before you start. Okay, so I'm using the Jessica's Choice brush. So you can see it's super thin, super fine. I don't want to create any thickness, any extra thickness, and I don't want my design to be too black. I want to have this super fine lines just to create the outlines and just to sharpen the look, okay? So I will just get a bit of the product on my paper palette. So working straight from the gel jar, like picking up the gel. The liner gel is a really pigmented gel. It's quite thick in consistency, so it's not going anywhere. But really, you can see I just saturated my brush with the pigment, so it's not like I'm picking up the product. And now, from the middle part, I'm just going to create the outlines on my petal. So I'm starting on the middle. So on the middle, I've got thicker lines and thinner out. Okay, so I'm just creating the outlines, not doing any thick lines. Okay, and we will continue with all of the petals in the front row. Okay, so the lighter one. So choose your finest brush, the ones that it works best for you to create really fine lines. There's no right or wrong one. If you're using the brush, you're absolutely fine. If you're feeling comfortable with the detailer number 3, is okay as well, as long as your lines are super thin. Okay, we can also create this nice sharp tip with our Jessica's Choice brush. Okay, and again, you see I starting every petal from the middle. Okay, so when I've got a bit more product in the middle and on the outside of my petals is much less. And that's the last one. What I'm going to do is just like a last bit, just in between these petals in the corners, I'm just going to fill this with black. And okie doke. So I'll quickly, you can see I've just created just a super fine black lines, and I already gave this the definition to the front row, but we're not done yet because we've got a few more details to add. I'm going to pre-cure it just a 30 seconds, and I'm going to add a bit a few dots to create the seeds in the middle part of my sunflower. And for this one I'm going to use the liner gel white, so it's the same as the black one, just white, super pigmented as well. I'm just going to get a bit of my on my paper palette, and just with a small brush I'm going to create the really dots, but how to say it, they need to have like different size and be try to be as irregular as possible. Okay, so you don't want to create 1 2 3 4 5 and then another row. Just try to make it as organic as possible with this one. Okay, so they can be lines, they can be dots. It's really up to you. If you just Google sunflower, you will see each one has like completely different the middle part, so it's really up to you. I'm going to quickly cure it 30 seconds, and what I'm going to do, I don't want to have this middle part white, so I'm just going to use my glass amber and brown that I have on my paper palette to cover it. Okay, just to tone this down a bit, so I don't want to have this too bright. Okay, so just a bit. See, if I will just add brown or amber semi-transparent on the black, will be completely invisible. That's why I needed the white dots first. But the liner gel, as I said, with the same with the black one, is super pigmented. It's just really tiny amount of the product I needed to create the white, so I'm not creating any extra thickness. Okay. And now I can cure it 30 seconds in a light. Now I'm going to cover it all with the base and top gel. So you will need the base coat that is nice and thin. You can also use the top gel that has a sticky layer. So we finish our design with the matte top gel, but I'm going to use the base and top just to stick a few of my magic flakes. So I've used for my designs two different ones. I've used the magic flakes, which are a bit more orangey. They look like that in a jar, but they're actually nice and yellow in here. Or you can use the neon flakes, neon inlay flakes. These are some stars and hearts as well. It's really up to you, just to add an extra sparkle to our design and fill the empty space. Okay, so just the base and top first. Nice and even layer. The base and top is absolutely brilliant. It's really connecting our gel polishes together, so we've got smooth surface. And now I will just get my brush and a few of the magic flakes. So what I'm doing, you can see I've just placed them in a tip, and now just picking up the single pieces, okay, just to place them where I want them to be. Just a few. The magic flakes and the neon inlays, even though they'll be covered with matte, they'll be still nice and sparkly and nicely visible, and that just gives us a bit of dimension. Okay, and now it's 30 seconds cure. So if you do two nails like that for your clients, you can easily do one hand, place it in a light, the same step, another hand, and continue like that. It's just yeah, that's the most efficient way if it comes to salon work. And I will finish it all with the extreme matte top gel. You can use any matte top gel, of course, that you wish. What is super cool about magnetic extreme matte top gel is the fact that it is not a velvet. Okay, it's not a velvet finish. It's a pure matte and doesn't change the colors underneath. So some of the top gels are really got this grayish giving this grayish shade on our colors, and it's really, really visible on the nail art. The extreme matte top gel doesn't, so it's really keeps the true colors of our nail art. So if we have our yellow colors, these are still visible like a yellow. These are not grayish, which is really, really important. Okay, and my last, no, it's not the last step, just next step. We've got 2 more steps. It will be to create a white outlines around my my petals, just to give a bit more dimension, and just a bit separate my petals from the background. So my background is white, and then a liner gel white is, how to say it, whiter than Whitest white gel polish. It is super white. It is like really, really white. So really you can see a difference between white lines and the white backgrounds is super, super white. So we will just create the outlines of our petals just to give a bit more dimension, and they will just look a bit nicer and nicer finished. Of course, you don't have to do that. It's really, really up to you. These are already beautiful, but I think it's nice if you add this extra bit. So again, the same situation as with the liner gel black when we've created the lines. Your fine brush, again, I'm going to use the Jessica's Choice. Yeah, that looks sharp, so sharp and crisp. Thank you, Helena. So I'm going to use Jessica's Choice. Okay, really fine, fine brush. You can use the Katarina's Choice or any fine brush you have or you wish. Just remember, these are just the details. We're not creating another petals with the white. Okay, so it is quite important. And now, on our black one, we have started from the middle and we followed to the end. This time I'm going to start from the end because I want to have a bit more white on the tip of my petals than in the middle. Okay, so I will just soak my brush in the liner gel and I will just follow the shape of my petal to the end. Okay, just the fine lines. Because we already have the top gel and we're painting with the gels, you don't need to stress if something goes wrong. If you see that your line is too thick, just wipe it and start over again. Okay, do not slap the lines at the very end, because you will cover your shading and you will cover your beautiful work. Okay, try to make it in one line. All the rest of the shade and all the rest of the work is done with our glass gel polishes before we applied the top gel. This is just to sharpen the tip of our petals and just create an extra dimension. That's it. This is all what we want to do. It's more like a highlighting than actually painting with the white. So be careful with this one. Okay, and just one in here. Awesome. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the back row. So in here I have just a part of the petal that I'm going to highlight. You can see the liner gel doesn't move anywhere. I'm continuing working. Oh, that's too much. Continuing working until I finish. I don't need to pre-cure anything in between. I can just work through it. So the liner gel is absolutely brilliant for that kind of detailed work, or the swirls, or whatever you would like to do. For the outlining with the gel polish is must have. I think I've used the liner gel white and black on every nail art that I'm creating. It's just something that I need to use. Hello, Marina. Hello, my dear Marina. So I've got a few more in here. And the lines in here. Okay, so my petals are outlined, which are looking much, much sharper than they were before. And I'm going to pick up just a tiny amount, hello Marina, the tiny amount of the white, and just to create few white dots here and there. So we've got our amber / brown underneath, so we'll just add a few more white one. Just a few, we don't want to cover it completely. You can see the dots are just tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm using my Jessica's Choice brush, so it's really no need to use anything thicker, and we have like really dimension in here. So now let's cure it. For the liner gel, full cure time, if we're working on the top of the top gel, is 60 seconds minimum. So please cure it properly. So then it will always last. It doesn't change the color, stay in white or stay in black, and you'll be absolutely safe, and your client's nails will be safe. So 60 seconds cure for the liner gel. And my last step is going to be created like a water drops. The sunflowers are the end of August, beginning of September flowers. I already have the sunflowers in my home. Bought a beautiful bouquet. Unfortunately, have nothing in my garden. I'll get them home. And this is actually a sunflower season. So because the end of the August, beginning of September, it start a bit of the raining, especially like in Scotland. I don't know what's your part of the world, what is happening now, but we're closely coming into autumn season. Although we still have a sun, which is good. You know all about garden. And then no, not everything, Marina, but I'm learning. So I'm absolutely obsessed if it comes to gardening, and I want to have as much as possible, but not yet, unfortunately. I'm still doing nails, and that's my priority. The rest is just to relax. So we're going to create the water drops from a bit of summer rain. So for this one, I'm going to use the top gel, which is in a jar. My top gel is used only for the nail art, so I'm going to quickly show you how the jar is look like. Okay, just quickly, but it shouldn't be like that. But I'm using this for the nail art only, this gel, and this is why it looks like that. But this one is absolutely amazing for creating like a blooming design, wet to wet technique. But it also has much thicker consistency than any other top gels in our assortment, and it's absolutely amazing to create the water drops. And I'm going to show you. So I've got this really thick gel on my brush, and I'm going to create a few drops of rain on my sunflower. Okay, so I'm moving slowly my brush just to drop on the petal. And I'm going to just to do a few. Don't overdo it, okay? 3, 4, maybe 5, if you have the big tip, is more than enough, okay? It has to be an accent, not completely covered in rain, okay? So it's not splashing down, it's just morning dew, a few drops of rain on our beautiful sunflower. So you can see I've created these beautiful raindrops, and they're not going anywhere on my matte surface. So the top gel from the jar is absolutely amazing for this one. I'm going to cure it. The only thing about the top gel from the jar that is really, I would say not as good as with the others, okay, is a curing time. So to keep it shiny, you need to cure it 2.5 minutes in a LED light, or you need to cure it 4 minutes in the UV light. So 2.5 minutes, which is quite a long time, but if we do the nail art, we can easily do this 2.5 minutes, not a problem at all, because we need this super shine, and the super shine is achievable if we cure it for a bit longer than the regular top gel. What is also cool about the top gel, if you have the brand new light, you will see how top gel is super shiny after 2.5 minutes. When lamp gets a bit older, of course our bulbs are not as powerful, and after a while you may see that your top gel is not as shiny, it's a bit dull. Is literally a time to change your light. So the top gel from the jar, we have also the small 5 mils jars like this one. So this is actually acrylic, but this is the jars we have with the top gel. Are absolutely great tool to have, because if you feel that your my lamp is not really as strong, I've got the feeling it's not working properly, you can just apply the top gel from the jar, the blue top gel, and actually check your light. So it's a really, really great tool. And let me just get my tip, and I will just place it here, and that's our sunflowers. So you can see these are all in the same technique, they're all the same, they just placed in a different way, so you can create super cool designs, and it's not as long. If you do the few of the designs, you will be really easy to do on your client's nails. To make your life easier, just try to make it in a corner, maybe not to create full sunflowers in the middle. Will be just easier to create, and create some kind of designs. And you can mix and match this with your client's nails. You can do the black, you can do the orange, you can do red, you can do gray, white, or yellow, or maybe the shade of the yellow that you used on the back, like a mustard yellow, or just do the full glitter. So you're not really limited with just the white. You can feel free and create any color you wish for these flowers. Helena Beauty, amazing. Thank you so much, Helena, for watching. Thank you guys for watching. I'm finishing this video, and I'll save it in my IGTV. Again, thank you for your compliments and all the hearts. It's so nice you watch me with my another live, and I will pop in this week with something else as well. Maybe when I won't do the office work, I'll probably create something nice. But thank you so much, and have a lovely week. Bye bye.